What's up guys, welcome back to Toon Duelists. Today I'm going to show you our Amazoness deck profile. You voted, you wanted to see this, and today I'm going to show it to you, and I'm really excited for it because the Amazoness archetype is one of the oldest archetypes in the whole game, with its first member being Amazoness Archer, which was released in Labyrinth of Nightmare back in 2003. Also, the Amazoness archetype is an archetype that was played 3 times in the anime. First, My Valentine was one to play it, then of course Tanya from the GX anime, and finally the Tyler sisters in the Arc V anime also played Amazoness. It's a really cool deck profile and I'm really excited to show it to you guys, and without further ado, let's dive right into it. First of all, we're going to start with the monsters, and the first monster we're going to talk about is Amazoness Princess. Now, this card has the effect that it's always treated as Amazoness Queen on the field or in the graveyard, and also if it is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Amazoness spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and when this card declares an attack, you can send 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon 1 Amazoness monster from your deck in defense position, except Princess itself. Now, this card is a great searcher, probably the best normal summon we have in this deck. It helps us search our combo pieces, it's treated as Amazoness Queen, which is also very important for our fusion plays, and even the second effect, even though it's not that important all the time, it can also be very useful, so definite 3 of right here. The next card we talk about is Amazoness Spiritualist. Now, this card is also amazing because if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 Amazoness card you control, except Amazoness Spiritualist, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Amazoness monsters. So you really have to watch out because it locks you into Amazoness monsters, but in combination with some of our Pendulum monsters, this card can really be an important combo piece, because also if this card is special summoned, you can add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect of Spiritualist once per turn. So it can special summon itself, it searches a polymerization. You only have to watch out for the summon restriction, but all in all, a very good card and definite 3 of in this build. The next 3 of we play is Amazoness War Chief. Now, this level 5 monster has the effect that if you control no monsters or only Amazoness monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if it is normal or special summoned, you can set 1 Amazoness spell trap or polymerization directly from your deck. Also, you can only attack with Amazoness monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect of Amazoness War Chief once per turn. So it's an easy special summon extender. It can add you an Amazoness spell or polymerization directly from the deck, and the lock isn't even that hard because it's a going first deck anyways, so awesome card and definite 3 of. The next card we play are 3 copies of Amazoness Baby Tiger. Now, I only have 2 at the moment, but definitely play 3 because this card's name becomes Amazoness Tiger while on the field or in the graveyard, but more importantly, if an Amazoness monster is normal or special summoned to your field while this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Amazoness Baby Tiger once per turn, and it gains 100 attack for each Amazoness card in your graveyard. The only important effect of Baby Tiger is its ability to special summon itself, just to help you extend your plays, so definite 3 of. The next 3 of we play is 3 copies of Amazoness Spy. Now, this level 2 monster has the effect that you can reveal 1 other Amazoness monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and that's already the most important effect of this card. You can just easy special summon it and extend your plays this way. But also, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Amazoness monster in your graveyard, except Spy itself, and return it to the hand or shuffle it into the deck. But as I said, the special summon effect is the important part, so extender and definite 3 of. Next up, let's talk about the first Pendulum monster we play, which is Amazoness Silver Sword Master. This level 3 monster has a 7 Pendulum scale, and the following effects. Pendulum effect is that Amazoness monsters you control gain attack equal to their own level times 100, and when an attack is declared involving your Amazoness monster, you can target one Amazoness spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it recycles, it boosts your monsters, which is great, but the better effect is the card text itself, because if this card is in the monster zone and destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Also, if an Amazoness monster is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can place this card into your pendulum zone and you can only use each effect once per turn. This means you can use this card as fusion material in your hand and directly place it into your pendulum zone, because there is an Amazoness fusion monster special summoned while this card is in your graveyard. So basically a free fusion material right here. Same goes for the other pendulum monster, which is Amazoness Golden Whipmaster. They share the same monster effect, but this card is Pendulum Scale 1 and level 5 and has the following pendulum effect. Amazoness monsters you control also gain attack equal to their own level times 100, and when an attack is declared involving your Amazoness monster, you can target one spell or trap on the field and destroy it. You can only use each effect once per turn. So basically it's also a boost. It can destroy opponent's spell or traps, which can be quite useful. But of course it's also basically free fusion material, which is why we run each of the pendulum monsters twice. Next up we run one Amazoness Queen. This card has the simple effect that Amazoness monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, which is amazing, and it's also easy to special summon out in this deck, but one copy is definitely enough. We can search it out quite easily. Finally, we also run one Fire Flint Lady. This level 1 warrior monster has the effect that if you control a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can also send this card from your field to the graveyard and special summon one level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand, and if you do, your opponent cannot target it with cards effects this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's basically a pretty cool extender. I've tried various things with this card, running it at 2, at 3, but actually surprisingly 1 works best. So if you have other suggestions to this deck, feel free to replace Fire Flint Lady, but in my opinion 1 is quite a good bet to extend your plays and go into your higher link plays. Finally, we also run hand traps, and of course we run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I guess I don't have to explain this card, also awesome card. And guys, that's it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. The first spell we run are 3 Pot of Prosperity. We definitely need those because the deck has a problem. Since Isolde got banned, it needs a lot of cards to go into your combos, so Pot of Prosperity is the way to go to find your combo pieces and then go full combo first turn. Next up, we also run 3 Amazoness Call. This is the card we most of the time search with Princess, and this quick spell has the effect that you can take one Amazoness card from your deck, except Call itself, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Amazoness monster you control, and this turn that monster can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack. You can only activate one Amazoness Call per turn. Now the second effect is not that important for us. We want to fill our grave and set up our grave with the following card, which is Amazoness Secret Arts. This quick spell has the effect that you can fusion summon one Amazoness fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Also, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and once if you fusion summon an Amazoness fusion monster this turn, you can also send one Amazoness monster from your extra deck to your graveyard as material. You can only use one effect of Amazoness Secret Arts per turn and only once that turn. So we most of the time will use Amazoness Call to get Amazoness Secret Arts into our graveyard so we can banish it and we have more easy access to our boss monster Amazoness Augusta. But more on that later. Let's keep it simple. We can only play 2 copies of this card because it's easy searchable and can be bricky in hand from time to time. Next up, we also run 2 of the classical polymerization. Don't think I have to explain that card. We also run 1 Fusion Substitute. This card is very important in this deck because Fusion Substitute is always treated as polymerization. So also in the deck, that means this is our 3 polymerization right here. And with Fusion Substitute, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material. So that's that, but the important part is that you can banish this card from the graveyard, target 1 fusion monster in your graveyard, and return it to the extra deck, then draw 1 card. So if we use the effect of Secret Arts to fusion summon with one of our fusion monsters from the extra deck, we can then use Fusion Substitute to do that polymerization, do that fusion summon, banish it, get the extra deck monster, the fusion monster, back into the extra deck, and draw a card. So nice little extender and easy searchable with War Chief or Spiritualist. So yeah, pretty good card right here. And finally, of course, we also run 1 Rhoda. This is a warrior deck, so of course we run Rhoda here. That's it for the spells, guys. Let's move on to the traps. So for the traps, we of course run 3 Infinite Impermanence, just a good hand trap, and we also run 1 Amazoness Onslaught. Well, most of the time you will use your Amazoness spell trap searches for Amazoness Call, but there can be situations where you already used it or you have Call on your hand, so we have one other option, which is Onslaught. This permanent trap has the effect that once per turn during the battle phase, you can special summon 1 Amazoness monster from your hand, and if you do, it gains 500 attack until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. But the important effect is the next one, because after damage calculation, if your Amazoness monster battle an opponent's monster while this card is already face up in your spell and trap zone, you can banish that opponent's monster, which is insane. It basically means whenever your opponent battles an Amazoness monster, their monster will be banished. And if this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Amazoness monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it also has this neat little destruction effect that can help you out. So very good card, but easy searchable, and we don't rely on it too much, so 1 copy is really enough. That's it for the main deck, guys. Let's move on to the extra deck. We start things off with our fusion monsters, and the first one we're talking about is Amazoness Augusta. This level 10 fusion monster has the requirements of 1 Amazoness fusion monster and an Amazoness monster. So perfect target, as I already mentioned, for our Secret Arts. It has the effect that your opponent cannot target other Amazoness cards you control with card effects. Also, those cards cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, if this card was fusion summoned using Amazoness Empress or Queen as material, you can make a second attack during each battle phase. And we almost always do that because we use Empress from the extra deck as fusion material. And if this card is fusion summoned, you can special summon 1 Amazoness monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Amazoness Augusta once per turn. So this card has a really good protection for all other Amazoness cards you control. Also, if it's fusion summoned, you can extend your plays to go full combo. So really good card and definite 2-off. Next up is the already mentioned Amazoness Empress, which we run 2 copies of. Amazoness Empress needs Amazoness Queen and another Amazoness monster to be fusion summoned, and is also part of your end board. This card has the effect that other Amazoness cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, and if your Amazoness monster attacks a defense position monster, you inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. And also, if this face-up fusion summoned card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while its owner controls it, you can special summon 1 Amazoness Queen from your hand, deck or graveyard. So all in all, it's part of your end board to have Augusta and Empress protecting each other, and yeah, decent card. We also only need 2 copies. The next card we play are 2 Amazoness Pet Liger King. This card needs 1 level 5 or higher Amazoness monster and another Amazoness monster. Your opponent's monster cannot attack any monsters except this one. You can also take 1 Amazoness card you control and 1 Amazoness warrior monster in your graveyard, destroy the card on the field, and if you do, special summon that other monster from the graveyard. This card can also be used very effectively with your pendulum monsters, for example, to extend your plays. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated, and you can only use this effect of Amazoness Pet Liger King once per turn. Now, this card is pretty helpful in some situations when you can't get your combo started the right way. It can help you extend, but 2 are definitely more than enough. Next up, we also play 1 Amazoness Pet Liger. This little guy needs an Amazoness Tiger and 1 Amazoness monster. Remember, baby tigers always treated as Amazoness tigers, so that's that. And this card has the effect that once per battle, if this card attacks during damage calculation, you can make it gain 500 attack. Also, if your Amazoness monster attacked an opponent's monster after damage calculation, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and it loses 800 attack. Also, monster your opponent controls cannot attack Amazoness monsters you control except this one. So it has the typical protection effect of all the Amazoness tigers and can weaken your monsters, but I'm going to be honest, we won't use it that much. It's just good to have this card as an option in here. For our last fusion monster, we also play one Guardian Chimera. Now, this card has gotten cheap with the Rarity Collection 2 reprints and a perfect fit for here. Basically all fusion decks, I guess, because this card only needs 3 monsters with different names, must be fusion summoned using only fusion material from hand or field, with at least 1 monster from each, and if this card is fusion summoned by a spell card or effect, you can draw cards equal to the number of cards used as material from the hand, and if you do, destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards used as material from the field. You can only use this effect of Guardian Chimera once per turn, and while Polymerization is in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Of course, going first you won't use it that much, but definitely a good card that can help you in some tricky situations. Let's talk about the link monsters we play in here. We play one IP Masquerena. I don't think I have to explain her. Just quick link summon during your opponent's turn is awesome. We also play one Cross Sheep, of course only for the fusion part of its effect, where if a fusion monster is summoned into a zone this card points to, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. So great extender. We also run one Nightmare Phoenix for spell trap destruction. We also run one Nightmare Unicorn, especially a good combo with Masquerena to interrupt your opponent's plays. We run one Axis Code Talker to finish the game off. And we also run one Appaloosa, which is one of the monsters we want to get out in our first turn. I guess everyone knows those cards and their effects, this is why I won't explain them. And finally, we also run one Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I guess this card is also known by now. Guys, that's it for the extra deck. And that's it for today's deck profile, guys. I really hope you enjoyed and I was able to show you that this classic can still be amazing and very fun to play. If you want to know how the deck performs, don't forget to check out our combo video for this deck profile. And as always, if you like the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. This would really help us a lot. And until next time, have a good one.